Well, howdy guys, welcome back. It's time for episode number 11. I'm ImperialJedi, and my goodness, what a wonderful transit hub we have here. Honestly, I can't stop staring at this. I think I've spent maybe 5 or 10 minutes now just finding different angles and just watching traffic and everyone, and I'm having a lot of fun with this. So you can see, we do have a few people, they're like spawning cars. Our goal in the long run would be to have like all of these people leaving the train station to just hopefully use a form of public transit. So you can see already we have like a whole ton of people wanting to switch over, use a train. People are already starting to use this bus right here. So we're doing a much better job than we were in the previous episode in terms of getting our citizens to use transit. We're just, you know, gotta fill in some more of the dots basically. So I think for this episode what we're going to be doing is implementing a small metro line. And I've already gone ahead and put in some of the tram tracks, not all of them, just to maybe save us a little bit of time. And I converted this over to a bridge, just to try and help out with the traffic light spacing, just make things a little bit faster through here. And we had a suggestion come in to add a little collector on-off ramp kind of thing to, yeah, it's right here from the university campus. And I was considering that too, so I'm really glad someone suggested it, because I think it'll do a really good job of freeing up traffic in and around this intersection here. And this one, we just want to be careful not to flood this. It's a cool looking intersection. I would hate for it to kind of fall apart. I think really it's still probably my favorite intersection in town. So let's preserve it. And yeah, and so towards the end of the episode, I want to get the metro lines in. Like we'll have the station stuff down. We'll put down the lines, and I want to get at least 1 or 2 tram lines in place. And what I'll do at the end of this episode is most likely we'll upload the city, or I'll upload the city, sorry, in the 2 segments. That way you can download it with and without the DLC. So just keep an eye out for the links for both of those. And then if needs be next episode or possibly off camera, what I might do is just put down any other bus lines or tram lines that we just didn't really get to, just in the effort to save time or whatever. But I'll kind of make my mind how things kind of go with that. And I've just kind of put in some trees here and there, made things a little bit more decorative. You can see right here is kind of like a tree line approach for our tram. So, okay, well, let's talk about metro lines, or the subway, whatever you want to call them. Basically, our city size, arguably, it's a little bit small for a metro. We know, though, however, that we're going to be doing a... are we running low on power? Yeah, just a little bit. We know that we are going to be doing a really big, healthy expansion to the city, just in general. So, I do want to drop down a nuclear. Maybe we can justify it. Total asterisks, I did not... Like, I want to make a special little spot for the nuclear power plants. I want to work in some canals, make it seem like there's a... like a spot specifically for, you know, like water turnaround and like that kind of stuff. So I want to make it like a themed area almost. So I'll say that for like a different episode, but for the moment, I'm just going to plop that down just right here. And we'll just kind of let that do its thing. And that also might help if we connect to these. Okay, there we go. All right, the power grid is saved. Everyone is happy. Excellent. Okay, yeah, so a city of this size, we're about 20,000 people. Arguably a little bit small for a metro, but we are going to be, like I said, probably doubling, if not maybe tripling the city size, so super justifiable to put one in. But a metro, you really don't necessarily need them unless you're doing a mega city that has, like, I want to say like 60,000 plus people. So, you know, double, triple this size type thing. What we're going to be doing is an east-west corridor, so we'll have a subway line that runs like this. And then we're going to have a north-south one as well. So it's going to look kind of like a plus sign with maybe, I want to say like 2 or 3 stops on each with kind of like a little central turnaround point. And, you know, obviously the goal is just to get people to move through the city a little bit faster. Think of them as the trains, but the stations will be a little bit closer together. And then the subways, compared to the trains, the subway goes a little bit faster. So it can get to speed a little bit faster. It doesn't necessarily go faster. Which means you can have your stations closer together, so you can kind of utilize that. They don't carry as many people as the trains do, but because of how quickly you can get to speed, you can increase the frequency by having more subways on your line. So theoretically, it's a little bit faster in that sense. Anyway, they just kind of all work in conjunction, I guess is a good way to put it. So you would have a few train stations throughout your city for kind of a long distance commute. If you wanted to get, say, from one end of the city to the other relatively quickly. And then for, say, you wanted to cross like half the city or 3/4 of the city, and you wanted something faster than a surface vehicle, say faster than a tram or a bus, even though you could probably still get there on a tram or a bus, that's when you would use the metro. So we'll have it in place for people that want to go longer distances or who happen to live down here but work up here type thing. And then, you know, if we have everything linked together, we make a smaller transit hub somewhere else, have a few more turnaround points, options for transfers, just everything becomes more seamless. And the next thing you know, traffic is just evaporating off the streets. All you're going to be seeing are just trucks and like emergency vehicles. And you can even see arguably like right now, for a city size, you know, 20,000, there's like basically zero traffic. So like that's great to see. Loving that fact. So let's just keep that trend alive. All right, hopefully some of that made sense. So let's drop down the first of our metro line, or the first metro station. I want this to be kind of central around here so that anyone switching with the trams, buses, that kind of stuff can walk. Same with people on the other side of the street. So why don't we put that right there? So that's perfect. We get access to these pedestrian walkways, which is just a hop, you know, across the street to where the trams are letting you off. Same where the buses are. If the city does get really, really, really big, and we notice that our metro lines are just absolutely flooded, we can do a relief line, which would basically run in parallel or kind of in the same more or less direction area, just to act as kind of like a support line. Or that's when you could maybe do an above ground train or something. But that kind of stuff, like, worry about that a little bit later when the city gets big. For the moment, we just want to get the basics in and then just kind of tinker away from there. So you can see anywhere it's purple, that's where the tram tracks already are. So I've got kind of the makings of a little network, so we can definitely get at least one line in towards the end of the episode, just in case time gets away from us. But yeah, I do want to make a smaller little transit hub kind of turnaround point for some vehicles over here. So we have trams running through. I was thinking basically having like trams make like a little turnaround right there, and having one street stretch through here with some buses or something. And then just to justify bringing in some transit, I actually want to bump this up to high density, so we get a lot more people living here and then, you know, using the transit basically. So I think that's kind of our goal for this episode. And then towards the end of the episode, we'll kind of see how time goes. I'll let you guys know and I'll make up my mind as we go along. But I will most likely be uploading this city in two parts after the episode to the workshop, with and without the DLC. So those of you who don't have it, you guys can still play along, get access to the transit, all that kind of stuff. All right. I don't mind getting rid of the bike lane per se right here, just because the bike lane goes up and through with that one. But we, again, might be doing like an overhead kind of set of bike lanes as the city grows. We'll kind of figure stuff out. All right, so there's a way for the trams come in, just make a quick little turnaround. I don't necessarily think we're going to have a lot of trams going through here, but I still would maybe like the option to have like one or two, just in case the city grows. So we'll have on an angle, just say like that, like maybe two little bays or something. And that would make that go like that. And why don't we do two-way traffic so we can get stops on either side? Cool. And then I would like, for the buses, just like the same idea. Great. Now, because of how noisy it's going to be, I'm going to unzone the residential in the immediate vicinity. And hopefully we don't lose that big building there. Okay, good. And I'm going to replace that. Actually, I'm going to use an office here, because I'm going to be putting in some towers. And the offices act as a really good sound barrier. And as a bonus, some people will be able to work right here. And I think for these, even though they're a little bit noisy themselves, I'm going to put in some commercial. And then I'd like to upgrade this to high density. And even though I don't do them too often, I think I'm actually going to put a little dead-end road here. And it's a shame we can't get a road to work in line with that park path, but I guess c'est la vie. Unless, nope. The game has a funny sense of humor sometimes when it comes to spacing. So I will do that, and then I'm going to put a small parking lot on this. And that's kind of like, would be the whole point of this road, in air quotes. And then now anyone who lives here in a high density building kind of shares that parking lot. So if you get like guests or visitors or whatever, family, friends, and everything. Or, of course, you yourself if you live there. Awesome, so that's a nice little conversion of that spot right there. Let's do something similar over here. Maybe we don't necessarily need the inner road, though. We can probably just go like that, use that. Yeah, that's awesome. Convert that over. I think we'll keep that. And then because these are side roads, we won't get the traffic light. No problem if we want to put those in. And then just so we don't feel overwhelmed by tall buildings, let's maybe have just a bit of a height kind of difference right here. But the idea is we're going to probably double the population within this little district right here, which makes like much better use of the incoming metro and all that stuff. Got some shopping close by. Cool, nice little conversion. Okay, so let's now put in the metro station right here. So I think that would be perfect right there. Excellent. So that's the straight line for our little plus symbol. And then I would like this to be close enough to the train station, but also close enough to the university and close enough to the stadium and all that. So it's, I think we're going to, yeah, probably put that right there because the buses drop you off right there. I would like to have a very small little bus loop that goes through and just picks up people from, you know, basically like a little campus shuttle. So train station to all around campus. So I guess the 3 stops for that direction are more than enough. We could, in fact, have a split happen right here and then start going upwards, which is also not a bad idea at all. Because, you know, the city, like I said, it will be growing. We do have some high-density action happening over here, so we can do a small little area for transit vehicles and whatnot to turn around over here as well. And then if we do the same kind of thing we just did, we bump up a little bit more of the buildings, kind of justifies having yeah, subway run through here. All right, well, let's just connect these just so we can visualize how the network's going to start looking. That would basically go like that, which is super simple. And nice. Sometimes you can get your pathways and your tunnels. This is a bike path that went underground to line up, and sometimes we can go underneath like these roads too. Sometimes not, though. You have to go maybe lower. There, see? And you'll notice sometimes you'll have issues when you're trying to go underwater. Sometimes it says the slope is too steep. In instances like that, the best way to do it would be to go at a curve. And there you go. Just find the angle that works. And then maybe sometimes some tight angles, but or some tight curves, but just like when you're doing a mountain road above ground, you want to maybe just slalom into it type thing. Okay. Hopefully that helps you guys. So that will end right there. And we just want to be careful because if we link too many subway or metro lines through one station, that eventually ends up creating way too much of a bottleneck. So I think what we're going to do, just because it's super early still, is maybe put a second metro line in here. And this could be eventually like a downtown relief line, or this could be the one that goes up towards here. And then we can encourage people to transfer just by getting out and walking that way instead of having all the trains converge into one station. And you'll already see a lot of the buildings starting to level up. I mean, public transit, it works wonders for your city. So we are going like such. I'm sure we could have done that a little bit more efficiently, maybe by going up and over. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, that makes way more sense to me. Unfortunately, that train is very low. Let me try this one more time, going in between these guys here. Yeah, that's it. Sometimes you just gotta keep it simple. Okay, so these now connect. That's not too shabby. And then people would transfer from there to there. Or if we wanted to, hypothetically, we have a break in trains, and then we can have, you know, a line that goes from here to here type thing. and so on and so forth. So let's now put it in the other way. And I would like this station to kind of let you off really close to where a bus would be. That way it's not too much effort to transfer. And we could possibly do, because we're going to be having a bit more of a high density corridor through here, get another station in right there. And this is going to be more or less the bottom of the city, because we're not going to be going too much, like this is basically the last tile we're buying. So we could do a turnaround point for transit vehicles down here as well. And so this, in terms of how a line could be, you can go like that. Okay. And so that means you're going from this station into here and then up to there. That's one line. And then another line could be just the 2 stops or the 3 stops like that. And then another line could be from here up to there. So there's a little bit of transferring. And we'll go this way. And instead of going like this, well, I mean, we could go like that. Depends on how we want to, if we want to connect these or not. If we wanted to, we could go like this. And again, like these kind of things, I'm making them overly complicated intentionally, just to give you guys some suggestions and hopefully some inspiration and stuff, right? Like don't necessarily think you have to make things overly complicated, or if you find like my style to be like way over the top, which it sometimes is, it's totally fair. Like whatever you guys feel comfortable doing, that's all. I just happen to know that like when the city gets very big, the metro lines, subway and everything, it just gets really crammed. So sometimes, especially in your middle stations, you just need some craziness to help distribute things. So let's take a look at the lines. So we'll go like this into our center and back. Perfect. Line is complete. Very, very simple. And these, just like everything else, can be color changed. So if we want whatever you want, let's do like a turquoise color. Why not? And then this way you can see what line you still have to work on. So create new line. So that one we have the option of going to here if we wanted to, and then say to here. And we're stopping at the stop on the way back too. Just gotta make sure you're doing that. And I'm just basically doing a straight line and just falling back on itself. Like the metro lines are super simple to put in place. You can have long looping lines if you want to. The same way we kind of did that bus that was above ground. Where is that one? This one right here. So we've got one on each side of the street. You can do the same thing if you make like a loop with your subways. But right now we're just having lines that fall back onto themselves. Okay, now for here, I think what we're going to do... I'm trying to think here for funsies. The university would make the most sense to get the action to. So why don't we do something like this? So now you got 2 ways to get to the university. There we go. And then because of the way we set this up, we have a lot of options for the future as the city grows. So we maybe have like another arm coming out in a different direction eventually. We can just link it through here without really having to worry too much about traffic. And the idea is just to have a small interchange style thing right here. Hopefully not too close together or too chaotic. Wherever there are breaks, we want to have enough room for a train to hopefully just hang out. I think that's okay for the moment. And this is probably going to end up changing as the city grows, but should definitely serve us very well. Cool. Works for me. Now let's switch over to trams, and we'll put a few of those in place. And I'm loving, this is cool too. Definitely digging this. So again, not that traffic is bad, but we should see definitely a reduction in traffic on the roads. And when you see red like this, or like that, it doesn't necessarily mean that traffic is bad there. It just means that it's high volume. So this intersection here happens to be a very high volume intersection, and pedestrians can be included in that too. So you can see if we stare at it, I wouldn't say the traffic here is bad. I would just say there's a lot of cars that happen to go through here. But because of how we plan this intersection, we have very fast flow through. So it's only a 3-way light, so you don't have to wait for the timing on having, say, 4 points leaving. We've got this breakaway point right here, so we're helping people get to the highway faster without having to wait for, say, another set of traffic lights. We're kind of forcing pedestrians, you can see, to use this crosswalk right here. If we wanted to be faster, we could have them go as a bridge, because you can see the majority of these people do want to go up and over, so that would be a way to improve it. And then now with the addition of some more transit, I think that's going to help a lot too. Okay, so let's just do a little looping line that takes advantage of kind of this way through. And we have a few options when it comes to doing these. I'm just going to drop this down. And I guess we can put that near the transit hub. This is kind of a cool looking building. Nice. Has a nice little transit look and feel to it. And why don't we just do a nice row of trees like that. Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so Tram Depot is down. And I would like to have a line that just goes kind of in a loop around. And then I'd like to have one that's more or less a destination and then falls back on itself type thing. And I think for that to work, we're going to have to maybe extend a little bit more of the tracks. So let's just try for the looping line first. And we'll have a stop close by to here. But we're not necessarily going to be stopping per se on one of these little turnaround points. I'm going to be saving those for when we create more neighborhoods and then we have like a destination style tram where it just kind of goes to a neighborhood, makes a few stops, and then comes back here type thing. And that would be for you know, areas that aren't necessarily getting a lot of subway coverage or don't have too many buses or trams already going through them. And that'll, you know, make more sense as the city grows and as you play along and stuff, and you kind of figure out what works for you and everything. Because really, there's no set way to do anything. I guess is a good way to put it. There's a lot of wrong ways to do stuff, but there's just, yeah. So if we wanted to, theoretically, instead of having to stop right here, if you wanted to free up traffic, we would put our stop, say, right there, and then just go back to the street. So why don't we just do that? Because otherwise, what's the point of those little roads, right? And then arguably we could do the same thing over at the transit hub where we can just move that one stop that we had and just force people to go in and get off the road type of thing. So, you know, why don't we do that? So we would have then, so we're going to that. Let's stop in the middle, or that's fine. And I want to get rid of that stop. Oh, that's not going to work. I have to do that the other way around. Silly me. So for me to do that, I'm going to escape out of this. You can see we've got the incomplete line. When you're back on this, you can click and drag to move your stop. So we're just going to move that one over. And this was our starting stop. Perfect. So I can just go right there. And I'm going to click on this one. It says drag to stop to move. I'm going to wait for that to show up. I'm going to click here. And now we're back over on that side again. So just in case you guys make a mistake or anything like that happens, no problem. Easy to back it up. And then now we're just going to be going, say, a stop right here. And we're just going to hop right into the transit hub. So bada bing, bada boom. And that now goes across. And awesome. Now we're going to make one on the opposite side of the street corner, in the opposite direction. And we should probably stop over here as well. I think we're going to stop maybe in a different bay, just so we don't have to worry too much about traffic. And just because of the way everything is routed through here, we want to watch how the trams go through. So why don't we use, say, that one? Because that makes trams go down that way. I think that's probably a better option. Okay, so we're just going to stop on the other side of the street where these ones were. And then in regards to this transit hub, we did do stops on both sides of this, so we have that option right there. I don't like that. I really wish the game didn't do that. So for us to get rid of that, I'm going to make the stop. Darn it. Yeah, I'm going to put that one right there. That's not what I really wanted to do. In fact, I'm probably going to even do it. Oh, darn it. This game is so frustrating sometimes. No, we'll put it right there. And then we'll just accept that the game has a sense of humor. Okay, and just on the other side of the one-way streets. Perfect. There we go. Line's complete. Excellent. So I think I was going to do red for our tram line. I kind of like that color. There we go. Hey, alright. Looks like all kinds of awesome here. Let's put it on 3-speed. Let's get a whole ton of these vehicles now out on the road. We can kind of just see what's going on. But there they go. I love it. Trams are off in the world. Oh, this is so exciting. So we got trams, buses, trains, and metro now working together. All we got to do is just beef them up and just start putting more surface vehicle routes in, just to get more people using them. So I think we have just enough time to maybe sneak one more tram line in. And what I would like to do, oh guys, I made a tunnel out of this based on my suggestion too. So keep the suggestions coming. You guys are very clever. So let's go, oh I see, actually this could be really cool if we do another tunnel. Okay, so let's go like that, and then bring that in. It looks silly because of how steep it is, but if we hide that with like trees and stuff, it'll look kind of cool, I think. Because I like the fact that it's like not, it looks like it's ground level kind of thing. So I think we'll keep that. And I just want this to very simply link up with that right here. Oh, that's perfect. And then this is going to be a tram that starts here, just makes its way through, maybe stops here, and we're going to have a little turnaround point just up here for our trams. So we'll bring our trams in over to here. And why don't we use the center one here for our turnarounds and everything. Perfect. And then we'll have a few spots just for the buses to turn around too. And this is just because we've got the metro like right here. Switch that over to some commercial. Maybe make this just some offices just for the sake of a little bit of sound barrier, because it does get noisy over here now. Bring in some more high density. And actually, I think what we're going to do is we'll keep that part low density, or even better, make this commercial. Great. And then we'll see how this unfolds, but I do want to put some parking lots in. Same with over there. But we'll worry about that, I think, next episode. Okay, so transit vehicles, please. So a new tram line. Let's start that one, say, over here. And you know what would be cool is if we went above the city. So we go this way. Yeah, okay, that's cool. So I'm going to have a lot of stops overlap with one another. And that's kind of what I was referring to earlier about having the line sharing options. And if we overlap our stops to a certain extent, that helps with traffic. Also, it can create traffic. So where the station might be, I might not necessarily do this. I might make the trams, say, go this way. Or go on to the other. I'll probably do the other one like that. And again, there's no real set formula. You'll just have to just take a look and see which route ends up being busier and whatnot. So let's just do a quick little turnaround here. And that's probably going to be the only tram going through here. Maybe one more might loop through, which is why we're not doing any separate turnaround tracks. But again, just like everything else, you never know, it might end up changing. Okay, so tram getting routed through here. Awesome. And I believe we are just going back this way. Cool. That's like really cool. Okay, so let's now color this. Too many options to click on. There we go. Haha, this is awesome. Okay, now let's just put maybe one more bus route in too, because why not, right? We're on a roll here. So I would like a bus just to maybe go and just serve the office district right here, just so more people start using that. So I'm going to stop right here, go this way. And this is just to help our office commuters. And it would be nice to maybe go to both sides. And I'm going to make this relatively inefficient in the sense that you really wouldn't take this unless you worked in and around this area, because it's going to be a bit of a longer bus route to get back type thing. So there's a few too many stops, more or less, in air quotes too. But it's a short line, so you'd only take this if you work right there type thing. And so instead of a stop right there, we'll go in the back way. Yeah, that makes more sense. And this is why we have so many entrances and exits and everything. It's just hopefully to get traffic and everything going in the right direction. I think we're doing black for the buses. Yep. Awesome. Well, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think we're going to end off the episode there. I mean, obviously, there's so much more to say and do about transit. Like, this is definitely not the last conversation we'll have about it. We're going to have a focused episode when we do, you know, the cargo lines. And then, obviously, we'll have, like, a big episode dedicated towards putting in the airports and, like, that kind of stuff. And then we're going to be doing extensions and a whole bunch of new bus lines and stuff, too. So we'll progressively add those in. I might do a few off-camera so I can maybe think about them a little bit better or whatnot. And actually, you know what? The last thing I wanted to do, of course, which I wanted to do when we started, was the express link that goes to the university. So we do happen to have a metro line that goes to the university, but now we'll have the option of just, yeah, getting there by bus if you wanted to. And the more options, the better. And this is going to be an express link, which means that it's just one stop on each side. So no stopping in between. And then for fun, if we wanted to make things a little bit different in the city, we can make our express buses an entirely different color. We can make them kind of like a burnt orange or something. Oh no, I wanted that color. Come back. Excellent. All right, guys, well, that's it. Drop some questions. Like, let me know if you're having any problems at all type thing. I'll definitely do my best to help you guys out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload the city in both parts, because we did get a pretty decent chunk of the transit done. So that means that what I'm going to do is upload it in its current state, and then I'm going to take out all the tram lines, the tram tracks, as well as the bike lanes and bus lanes. So it would basically be everything you would get with just the regular base game. You're unfortunately going to be losing some of the transit hub buildings, like the After Dark thing. You'll lose that. So you're going to have to probably put in some more of the bus lines again, because we're going to lose, unfortunately, a few of those. But at least you guys get the city more or less in this kind of shape. You can kind of do whatever you want with it at that point. All right, guys, that's it. All the best. Take care of yourselves. Thanks for watching. Like I said, drop some comments. Like, we'll be talking about this again and again, so don't even worry. And I'll hopefully try to seamlessly integrate more or less the transit kind of operations as we just grow the city. Because, you know, when the city gets to more or less this point and as we kind of grow, we do really want to, yeah, just make sure we're doing even just small little areas. So some spots for buses and trams to turn around, just thinking transit kind of focus in mind, or thinking pedestrian friendly. It's not really necessarily like all about the cars when the city gets bigger. It's almost like a war on the cars. You probably heard about this in real life and stuff too, but it's not a war on cars. It's supposed to be a symbiotic relationship. You want people that's using transit, that's all. All right, guys, I'm going to ramble on forever, so I'll just say goodbye here. Take care of yourselves, all the best, and happy building.